brushes are essentials when it comes to makeup because they make our lives so much easier. They help us achieve the look we want a lot faster and a lot more efficient. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about some of my favorite brushes, which are dual fiber brushes. So basically what that means is that they've got two types of bristles. So you have the natural bristles, which is the black. And natural bristles don't always have to be black. There's some that are white, some that are brown. So the white at the top here is actually synthetic. An example of a synthetic brush would be something like a foundation brush. This one's just my foundation brush from Sonia Kashuk. And an example of like natural bristles is something like this, like a big powder brush. Okay, so back to our dual fibers. So basically it's like if those two had a baby, they had these. Okay, not exactly, but whatever, you get what I'm saying. It contains both of the bristles, both of the types of hairs. The three I have here are all by MAC. But there's other companies that do make these. So I've seen some at Target before. I know Sigma carries some that are pretty much exactly the same style, but they have different numbers. So this one is the MAC 187, this one is the MAC 130, and this one is the MAC 188. So we'll go ahead and start from largest to smallest. So the 187, this one I got last year in their holiday set, and when I got it I was like, what in the world am I supposed to do with this thing? I had never seen a brush like this before. Maybe it was 2 years ago, I'm not sure. I remember seeing a brush like this and thinking, what in the world is that for? I was totally clueless. Anyways, so this is probably one of my favorite brushes because it's so multifunctional. So what the synthetic bristles do is they help place product while the natural bristles help really buff it out for you, so it's like you get a 2-in-1. Sometimes whenever you use only a brush like this, you get a lot of streaking, or it's not really blending it in for you, it's more just applying color than anything. So this really is like a multifunctional brush. So you can use this for your liquid foundation to kind of like buff it all over. And what I like to do after I do that is I'll just kind of wipe it off on a tissue or on the back of my hand just to get the excess liquid off. And then I can even dip it into my face powder. And so it works as a powder brush if you want like a sheer coverage, and it works as a liquid foundation brush if you want something that's gonna give you like an airbrushed finish and really buffed in. Another thing I like to use this brush for is like cream blush, just because the synthetic bristles at the top will help pick up the color. And then you could really buff it in after that. Or just regular brush, or just regular blush. If you also want to apply bronzer, but you're a little bit scared that you might go a little bit overboard with it, instead of taking something like this for your bronzer, because it's going to pack a lot more on, you could use something like this to get a really nice wash of bronzer just right along here. So it won't give you really any harsh lines or anything, just because it's like a very light application for powder products. Okay, oh, one more thing for this brush. If you wanted to do something like body foundation, like let's say you're gonna go to prom or something and you want to use like some foundation on your back or something, be a good one to use like around the body and stuff. Next one is our 188. So this one is basically a baby version of this one. So I like to think of this one as the dad, this one as the mom, and the little one as the baby. So this one is also pretty loose, and it works really well for foundation as well. So one problem I do find with the 187, which is the larger one, is whenever you get here into like the temples, it's a little bit too big, and it kind of tends to put product on my brow or on my hairline. So that's why I really like this one, because it could get in there a lot easier. And also you could get like really under the eyes with this, or like around the nose and mouth. So for foundation, I started off using this one first, but I'd have to say this one is probably my favorite for liquid foundation. Also, since it is smaller, I could just dip it into some concealer and do it like under my eyes, or if I just need a little bit more coverage in certain areas. This one works really well for that. It does not take me forever. When I first saw it, I was like, it's going to take me super long to buff everything in, but because since it is so loose and it does have both fibers, it blends it in really well. What else do I use this brush for? Cream blush as well. Highlight. It works like really well for highlight. So Normally you don't want to pack on your highlight. You want a light wash of like a lighter color like above your cheekbone. So this works really well for that. It works really well for cream highlights, liquid highlights, as well as powder ones. What else do I use it for? Just like concealer under the eyes, as well as powder to set my concealer in certain areas. And I'm sure there's so many ways you can use all of these. So yeah, that's enough about this one. Next one is the baby, which is the 130. So the 130 is not as loose as the other ones are. This one's a lot stiffer. So this one's going to give you a heavier coverage, but also help buff it in as well. I have used it for liquid foundation. The only problem I found was that it was so dense that it didn't blend out as easy as these ones did. So I really like this one for foundations that are kind of like cream foundations, like cream to powder, for example, like the Studio Tech or the Mineral Foundation by MAC, or like the L'Oreal cream. Or the, I don't know what that is. Or the L'Oreal, like there's a lot of drugstore ones too that are cream foundations that are like cream to powder. This works really well for that because it applies it very well, as well as buffs it in for you because the consistency is thicker. So I do find this one works really well for that. This one works really well for concealer. Like you just really want the edges blended out, you could just kind of tap it in there. So that one works really well for that. Works really well for cream blush as well. What else does it work well for? You can use this one for all over foundation. You just do have to practice blending a little bit more because it is stiffer, but it will give you fuller coverage. So overall, I love the airbrush finish that these give you because they really help blend it in. I mean, there's so many things you can use these for. They're so multifunctional, which is why I like them so much. Brushes have came a long way since back in the day. They all work really well for cream as well as powder. I'm sure I forgot to say so many things about them. Just let me know what other brushes you're interested in learning about. I mean, if you've got brushes at home and you're like, I only use it for this one thing and I paid so much for it, I want to use it for more things. Just let me know what brush you have and I'll see if I could, if I have it, then I can do a review on it, or I can look into it and see what kind of things you can use it for. Just because I have the MAC ones does not mean you have to go out and buy these, because this one is $40 and this one is $32. So I mean, it's just to give you an idea of the style of how the style of brush works. So yeah, just like go to your nearest drugstore or beauty store where they sell brushes, and let me know if you find good deals on brushes. I mean, I'm a brush addict. I love good deals for brushes. So like I love the Target brushes. The Sonia Kashuk ones work awesome. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to stop by and watch my videos. So don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Bye!